My husband just agreed with his parents that I'm a gold digger. So I, 32F, am just reeling. I knew his family wasn't thrilled I wasn't exactly born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Unlike Ethan, my soon-to-be ex apparently. They've always been low-key snobby about my background. My mom raised me solo, worked her butt off, and we weren't exactly rolling in dough. But Ethan just stood there while his parents called me and my sister gold diggers. At my sister's engagement party, he's always been the golden boy, can do no wrong. And me, I'm the outsider, always judged. It's been 5 years of this crap. 5 years of subtle digs and snide remarks and him just shrugging. I don't even know where to start. Should I have just walked out? Am I overreacting? It happened so fast, yet in slow motion. I was at the bar, grabbing a champagne refill for Chloe. She was glowing, so happy, and I was genuinely thrilled for her and Liam. I overheard snippets of conversation, hushed whispers from a corner booth. It was Ethan's parents, their backs to me. Thankfully Chloe was across the room, oblivious. I thought I misheard. I actually stopped breathing for a second. His mom, Patricia, with that condescending tone she somehow perfects, was saying something about those girls and clearly after the family money. My stomach lurched. I took a step closer, like some horrible car crash I couldn't look away from. Then, clear as a bell, I heard my father-in-law, Richard, say, "Well, they weren't exactly born into our kind of lifestyle." And then Ethan, my husband, the man who vowed to cherish me, just nodded. He didn't say anything, but that nod, it was like a physical blow. I felt the blood drain from my face. I think I actually swayed on my feet. Nausea rolled over me in waves. "Gold diggers," Patricia hissed. "Both of them. Gold diggers, me, my sister. Chloe, who is a freaking heart surgeon and makes twice what Ethan does. Chloe, who volunteers at a free clinic every weekend. Chloe, who is the most generous, selfless person I know. And me. I'm busting my ass as a marketing manager. I pay my own bills. I even contribute more than my share to our joint account. I don't remember walking over to them. 1 minute I was by the bar, the next I was standing there, champagne flute shaking in my hand. I must have looked like a ghost because Patricia's smug smile faltered for a split second. Then it was back full force. "Oh, Maya," she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "We didn't see you there." I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the champagne in her face. I wanted the earth to open up and swallow me whole. All I could manage was a strangled, "Did you just call me a gold digger?" Patricia actually laughed. "Oh, don't be so dramatic, dear. We were just stating facts." And Ethan just mumbled, "They don't mean anything by it, Maya. Don't mean anything by it." I swear I saw red. My whole body was trembling. In that moment, something inside me snapped. 5 years. 5 years of this subtle poison dripping into my marriage, and he just stood there. A statue, defending them, not me. I turned and walked away. I didn't say another word. I didn't even look back. I just walked. I should have just kept walking. I should have just left, gone home, packed a bag, anything. But no, I had to try and be the bigger person. Because that's what you do, right? You try to talk it out. You try to be reasonable. Big mistake. I found Chloe, grabbed her arm, and dragged her outside. I needed backup. I needed someone who wasn't going to tell me I was being too sensitive. Because that's what they were going to say. I just knew it. Chloe, bless her soul, didn't even hesitate. She saw my face, saw the tears welling up, and marched right back inside with me. We found them still huddled in their booth, like some evil cabal plotting my demise. Ethan was staring into his phone, completely oblivious to the storm brewing. "Patricia," I said, my voice shaking. "We need to talk." She looked up, that condescending smirk plastered on her face. "Oh, is this about our little conversation, Maya? Little conversation? They just called me a gold digger to my husband, at my sister's engagement party." My hands were shaking so badly I thought I was going to drop my purse. Chloe stepped forward. "Patricia, Richard," she said, her voice calm but firm. "What you said was incredibly offensive. And frankly untrue," Richard scoffed. "Oh, come now, Chloe, we were just joking." Joking? This was their idea of a joke. I felt a wave of dizziness wash over me. I gripped Chloe's arm, trying to steady myself. I needed to sit down, now. "Joking," Chloe repeated, her voice rising. "Calling someone a gold digger isn't a joke. It's insulting and demeaning." Then Patricia chimed in, her voice dripping with venom. "Well, perhaps if you and your sister weren't so focused on Ethan's success." She trailed off, letting the implication hang in the air like a toxic cloud. Chloe's eyes flashed. "My sister is a successful marketing manager, and I'm a surgeon," she stated, each word punctuated with icy precision. "We don't need Ethan's money. We certainly don't need yours." And then Ethan finally looked up from his phone. He looked at me, at Chloe, at his parents. And you know what he said? He said, "Can we just drop this? It's Chloe's party." Drop it? He wanted to drop it. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt tight, like a vice was squeezing my lungs. I stared at him, my mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. This wasn't just about the gold digger comment anymore. This was about him. About his constant refusal to defend me. His unwavering loyalty to his toxic family. That was the moment, right there. That's when I knew. This wasn't normal family conflict. This was something else, something broken, something irreparable. I turned and walked away, this time for good. A week later and things have gone from bad to nuclear. I'm staying at Chloe's, trying to hold it together, but Ethan's family is relentless. They've unleashed the flying monkeys. First, it was the ants. Ants I've barely spoken to are suddenly blowing up my phone, leaving voicemails about how disappointed they are in me, how I'm tearing the family apart. Tearing the family apart? They were the ones who called me a gold digger. Then came the cousins. Group texts, thinly veiled insults disguised as concern for Ethan. "He's just so lost without you," one message read. "He's not eating, he's barely sleeping." "Oh, give me a break, he's a grown man, he can make himself a sandwich." But the real kicker, the grand finale of this insane circus. Ethan's grandmother called my mother, my mother, who has nothing to do with any of this. She called her to tell her what a terrible influence I am on Ethan. How I'm leading him astray. My mom, bless her heart, told her to go to hell, but it still shook her up. She called me crying. "Maya," she sobbed, "what have you gotten yourself into?" What have I gotten myself into? I didn't do anything, I'm the victim here. They're acting like I'm some kind of manipulative monster who's holding Ethan hostage. It's insane. And Ethan, he hasn't even bothered to check on me. Not a single text, not a single call. He's letting his family run wild, poisoning everyone against me. This isn't just about hurt feelings anymore. This is a full-blown smear campaign. They're trying to isolate me, discredit me, make me look like the crazy one. And it's working. I'm starting to doubt myself. Am I overreacting? Am I being too sensitive? Maybe I am the crazy one. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can barely focus at work. I'm a mess. Chloe is amazing, she's my rock, but even she's starting to look worried. I know I need to do something. This can't go on. I'm meeting with a lawyer tomorrow. This isn't just about getting a divorce anymore. This is about protecting myself. This is about taking back my life. This is about survival. So after the whole engagement party explosion, I'm a wreck. I'm crashing at Chloe's, trying to process the whole gold digger debacle, the flying monkeys, the whole 9 yards. Chloe's been amazing, but I still feel like I'm losing my mind. Like maybe I am the crazy one. One night, we're sitting on her couch, surrounded by takeout containers and tissues, because, emotional breakdown fuel. I'm trying to explain the whole thing to her again for like the 10th time. I keep second-guessing myself, wondering if I overreacted, if I should have just let it go. I don't know, Chloe, I say, my voice all shaky. Maybe I am being too sensitive, maybe they didn't mean it like that. Chloe looks at me, this look of pure disbelief on her face. "Maya," she says, her voice firm, "are you kidding me? They called you a gold digger at my engagement party, and Ethan just stood there." I start to tear up again. But his family, they're so influential. Everyone listens to them. Maybe they're right. Maybe I am just after his money. Chloe slams her hand down on the coffee table, making me jump. "Stop it," she yells, "just stop right now." She takes a deep breath, then looks at me, her eyes softening. "Maya," she says gently, "you are one of the most independent, hard-working women I know. You pay your own bills, you have your own career, you contribute more than your share to the household expenses. You don't need Ethan's money. You never have." And it's like something clicks. Something I hadn't been able to see before because I was so caught up in the fog of their toxicity. Chloe's words are like a lifeline, pulling me out of the quicksand of self-doubt. "They're not just criticizing you, Maya," she continues. "They're trying to control you. They're trying to undermine your confidence so you'll be more dependent on Ethan, and therefore on them." It's classic emotional abuse. Emotional abuse. The words hang in the air, heavy and resonant. I'd never thought of it like that before. I always thought abuse had to be physical. But Chloe's words, they made sense. The constant subtle digs, the snide remarks, the way they always made me feel like I wasn't good enough, it was all a way to keep me down, to keep me in my place. I start to cry, but this time they're not tears of self-pity or confusion. They're tears of relief, of understanding, of finally seeing the truth. "They don't value you, Maya," Chloe says, squeezing my hand. "But I do, Mom does, your friends do. And most importantly, you should. You are worthy of love and respect. You deserve to be with someone who sees that, who cherishes you for who you are, not for what you have or don't have. And in that moment, I knew she was right. I knew I couldn't stay with Ethan, not anymore. The problem wasn't me, the problem was them. And him for allowing it to happen. I finally felt free, like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I still had a long road ahead of me, but for the first time in a long time, I felt a flicker of hope. I felt strong. Thanks to Chloe, I could finally see clearly. And I knew what I had to do. Then the text started. Patricia, my soon-to-be ex-mill, she'd somehow got my number from Ethan Betrayal 5472. I'd blocked her on social media after the engagement party fiasco, but clearly that wasn't enough to deter her. The first few were just condescending, concerned messages. Ethan's really struggling, Maya, you need to talk to him. Gag, I deleted them without responding. Then they got progressively worse. You're throwing away a good man, Maya, you'll regret this. You're being selfish. You're hurting everyone. And then the grand finale. You know you were just after his money, right? Don't even try to deny it. After his money? Seriously. This woman had the audacity to accuse me of being a gold digger after she and her husband had said it to my face at my sister's engagement party. I saw red. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. I wanted to drive over to her house and I don't even know what, but I didn't. I took a deep breath. And I did something I should have done a long time ago. I took a screenshot of the text. Then I typed, "This is harassment, do not contact me again." And I hit send. And then the most satisfying thing I've ever done in my entire life, I blocked her number. That text. That one single vile text. That was the last straw. It was like a switch flipped in my brain. All the self-doubt, all the guilt, all the second-guessing, it just vanished. It was like a physical sensation, a wave of anger and determination washing over me. My heart was pounding, my palms were sweating, but I felt powerful. For the first time in a long time, I felt like myself again. I wasn't a victim anymore. I wasn't going to let them control me, manipulate me, or gaslight me. I was done. Right then and there, sitting on Chloe's couch, surrounded by empty Chinese takeout containers, I made a decision. I was going to leave Ethan, for good. And I was going to do it on my terms. No more apologies, no more explanations. No more trying to make them understand. They didn't want to understand. They wanted to control. And I wasn't going to let them. I called a lawyer the next morning. Okay, Reddit, buckle up, because this is where things get strategic. After that gold digger bomb and the ensuing text message onslaught from Patricia, which, by the way, I screenshotted, all of them, I knew I couldn't just walk away. I had to walk away prepared. This wasn't just about leaving Ethan. It was about escaping his family's toxic orbit with my sanity intact. First things first, lawyer UP. Chloe connected me with her friend Sarah, a total shark in family law. I laid out the whole sordid saga, the comments, the gaslighting, the flying monkeys, everything. Sarah was amazing. She didn't try to downplay anything or tell me I was overreacting, unlike a certain spineless husband. She validated my experience, which honestly was half the battle. Then, we got down to brass tacks, gathering evidence. I printed out those text messages from Patricia, hard copy, baby. Sarah said they could be useful in showing a pattern of harassment. We also discussed the engagement party incident. Unfortunately, I didn't have any recordings, rookie mistake, I know, but Chloe and a few other friends who'd overheard the conversation were willing to testify. Witnesses, people, witnesses. Next up, financial detox. I started by opening my own bank account. Secret squirrel fund activate. I also changed all my passwords just in case Ethan or his family tried to access my accounts. Paranoia, maybe, but better safe than sorry. I also started documenting all our joint expenses and assets. Sarah said this would be crucial in the divorce proceedings. Knowledge is power, reddit. While Sarah was working her legal magic, I was working on my escape plan. I found a small but cute apartment I could afford on my own. It wasn't much, but it was mine. No more shared spaces, no more walking on eggshells in my own home. Just me, my cat, and blessed silence. But the most important part of my preparation, mental fortitude. This wasn't just about logistics, it was about rebuilding my self-worth. I started seeing a therapist, someone who helped me unpack years of subtle emotional abuse and reclaim my sense of self. Chloe was also a lifesaver. She reminded me constantly that I wasn't crazy, that I deserved better, that I was strong. Having that support system was everything. So yeah, I was scared. Terrified, actually. Starting over at 32 is daunting, but I was also determined. I was done being the victim. I was taking control of my life, and I was not going to let Ethan or his family drag me down with them. This wasn't just a divorce, it was a liberation. And I was ready. So the divorce papers were served. Sarah, my lawyer, advised me to let them know they were coming, just to avoid any unpleasant surprises. I sent Ethan a brief to the point text. Divorce papers have been filed, your lawyer will be in contact. No drama, no explanations, just facts. Predictably, Ethan showed up at Chloe's apartment not long after. He looked like a wreck. Unshaven, hair a mess, eyes red-rimmed. He rang the doorbell and Chloe, ever the protective sister, answered it, giving him a look that could curdle milk. I was hiding in the kitchen, steeling myself. Can I talk to Maya? He asked, his voice raspy. Chloe just crossed her arms. I don't think that's a good idea, Ethan. Please, Chloe, he pleaded. Just 5 minutes, I need to explain. Chloe hesitated, then sighed. Fine, 5 minutes. And if you try anything funny, I'm calling the cops. He nodded miserably and Chloe let him in. He walked into the living room, saw me sitting on the couch and his face crumpled. Maya, he started, his voice choked with emotion. Please, this is all a misunderstanding, we can fix this. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my voice steady. No, Ethan, we can't. He rushed over, kneeling in front of me, taking my hands in his. Big mistake, I yanked them away. Don't touch me, I said, my voice cold. Maya, please, he begged. I love you, I don't want to lose you. Then you should have thought about that before you stood there and let your parents call me a gold digger, I snapped, my voice rising. He flinched but kept going. They didn't mean it like that, you know they say things they don't mean. Oh, I know they say things they don't mean, I retorted, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Like when they called my sister a gold digger too, or when your grandmother called my mother to tell her what a terrible influence I am. Did they not mean those things either? He looked down, shamefaced. They're just worried about me, he mumbled. Worried about you? I scoffed. They're worried about losing their control over you, Ethan. They're worried about me disrupting their perfect little world where you're the golden boy and I'm the inconvenient outsider. He looked up, his eyes pleading. This isn't overreaction, Maya, it's just a few comments, we can work through this. A few comments? I repeated, my voice rising again. This isn't about a few comments, Ethan. This is about 5 years of comments. 5 years of you standing by, silent, while your family systematically undermined me and my self-worth. 5 years of me hoping you'd grow a spine and defend me, and you never did. He stared at me, speechless. I think he was actually shocked, like he'd never considered my perspective before, like he'd genuinely thought he hadn't done anything wrong. And that's when I knew, I'd won. The power dynamic had shifted. He was no longer the golden boy, and I was no longer the insecure wife begging for his approval. I was in control now. I'm done, Ethan, I said, my voice quiet but firm. I'm done with the comments, I'm done with the gaslighting, and I'm done with you. He opened his mouth to speak, but I cut him off. Don't, I said, holding up a hand. Just don't, it's over. He finally seemed to understand. He looked defeated, broken. He got up slowly, his shoulders slumped, and walked out of the apartment without another word. Chloe came in from the kitchen, a look of concern on her face. Are you okay? She asked. I took a deep breath, a shaky smile spreading across my face. Yeah, I said, feeling a wave of relief wash over me. I think I am. I was free. It's been 6 months since I kicked Ethan and his toxic family to the curb, and wow, what a difference. The immediate fallout was messy, to say the least. Ethan bombarded me with calls and texts for weeks, begging me to reconsider. His family, predictably, went full scorched earth. More flying monkeys, more whispered accusations, the whole shebang. But this time I was ready. I had my lawyer, my support system, Chloe, you're a queen, and most importantly, my newfound self-respect. I ignored them all, blocked, deleted, gone. The divorce itself was surprisingly smooth, thanks to Sarah, best lawyer ever. Ethan, to his credit, didn't fight me on anything. I think he finally realized the extent of the damage his family had caused. He even apologized, a real, genuine apology for not standing up for me sooner. It didn't change anything, but I appreciated it. So where do things stand now? Well, I'm thriving. I love my little apartment, I've reconnected with old friends, taken up pottery, who knew I had a talent for clay. And I'm even dating again, casually, nothing serious yet. Therapy has been a game changer, helping me unpack years of insecurity and build real self-worth. I'm finally prioritizing my happiness, and it feels amazing. Ethan, from what I hear, has gone through a major transformation. He's cut ties with his toxic parents, yes. started therapy himself and is focusing on rebuilding his life. I genuinely wish him well, but I know we can never go back. The damage is done. The biggest surprise, my relationship with my mother-in-law, Patricia. A few weeks ago, out of the blue, I got a letter from her. A real, handwritten letter. She apologized for her behavior, admitting that she'd been wrong. She said she was proud of me for standing up for myself and that she hoped one day I could forgive her. I was stunned. I haven't responded yet. Part of me wants to burn the letter and never look back. I'm still processing that one. As for the rest of the family, still radio silence. I'm fine with that. I've built my own chosen family, and they're the only ones that matter. This whole experience has been brutal, but it's also been incredibly empowering. I learned that I am stronger than I ever thought possible. I learned that it's okay to walk away from toxic relationships, even if it's scary. I learned that my worth doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion, especially not a bunch of snobby in-laws. So, Reddit, what do you think? Have you ever dealt with toxic in-laws? How did you handle it? Any advice on the Patricia letter situation? I'm all ears.